Good morning through a dirty windshield. This is Primarily Vlogs, and I'm Danielle. Today is December 16th, and I'm telling you that because I don't think I'm going to get this one posted today. It's probably going to come, I'll probably schedule it to go up on a trim day. So I don't generally get them posted on trim days either. You know, I like to schedule them for later. So I try not to miss any days. Because today you actually have Newport trim day. Should be going up, and it's an hour long, so have fun with that. It's a whole lot of watching me trim really fast, so I hope that's fun for you. We have the vet today. I'm gonna see just how much I can get recorded. Probably not gonna be a whole lot of talking, but hopefully little clips here and there of the different things we do with the horses. So fingers crossed. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still a little weird about recording around people because it feels weird, you know? It's like, hi, no pressure, I've got the camera out. Act natural. So we'll see. We are on our way to the gas station to get some coffee and get a little bit of Patreon writing done. Hopefully in the next 7 days I can get the next Patreon post out. I've been, like I have said it several times, running a little behind on the Patreon because of my super secret project I've been working on. So I apologize for that, but there is one in production and it will be coming. Just gotta give me some time. Yesterday, my gas station was out of half and half. And I had to use, they were out of half and half, their push button half and half, and their little half and half machine. And they were out of the little single serve weird where I have to open up 37 of them for my 32-ounce cup. And I had to use Coffee Mate. I don't know what Coffee Mate is. A milk derivative, whatever that's supposed to mean. But they were low on Coffee Mate, so I have a really strange feeling that they might be completely out of half and half today, and we're going to have to find a different gas station, which is easier said than done because I want half and half. And a lot of the gas stations around here, they have those like pump. They don't need to be refrigerated. They're in a pump. I don't know what the brand is. You know, some of them are flavored, French vanilla. Around the holidays, you're going to have your pumpkin spice or your peppermint mocha, which, fun fact, I love me some peppermint mocha, but I fast. So during my fast, I shouldn't even have half and half, but you only live once. But I'm not going to do the sugar stuff, so I can't have that. I need just regular half and half. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. There were 2 freight trucks at the gas station yesterday morning. One was the Pepsi guy, and the other was a Pabst Blue Ribbon truck. So I'm not optimistic that either of those trucks had half and half on them. If you ask me, the store manager should probably, like, you know, run on down to the grocery store that's 3 minutes away and buy some half and half. But, you know, I don't run the store, so my opinion's worth nothing. I do pay the same price for my coffee whether I've got half and half in it or Coffee Mate, so that should count for something. But whatever, I digress. It'll be a surprise for all of us. Yeah, but past that, excited to have the vet out, get some acupuncture done. We're going to be doing some diagnostics on Tripper's shoulder. Lauren's pretty sure she's got it pinpointed down to where the old injury was and what is affecting him and why it started to affect him. But it'll be nice to maybe get some images and see what we can see. Tripper and Cruz's owners, Nan and Hillary, are going to be here today. They're in from South Carolina. I believe they both live in South Carolina. And so this will be the first time getting to meet the vet, and so that'll be fun. I really hope they enjoy her. She's wonderful. So that'll be exciting, and then we'll do some hoof stuff either today or tomorrow morning. I'm not sure. We'll see. But first things first is we have to go visit Dandy Pony and go do some acupuncture on him. Lucky boy. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the luckiest, most spoiledest pony ever. He deserves it, though. He's a good boy. he certainly, not a day goes by, he better not be thankful for who owns him and where he lives, because my gosh, he gets what he needs, and I just love that. They all deserve that. They absolutely all deserve that. Whether they're some sort of high-level riding horse or just a cute little spotted pony, I think they all deserve the best we can possibly give them. All right, time for coffee. Coffee shop didn't have half and half. They had like 4 of those little things of Coffee Mate, and I dumped them in. I looked at my barely lightened coffee and I said, what am I gonna do? You know? So I pay $1.09 every day. I basically own the store. I opened up cabinets underneath the, coffee stuff to see what I could see. What did I find was a whole box full of that Coffee Mate. I didn't find any of the half and half, even the little ones, but I found a whole box full of the Coffee Mate, and so you bet your bum I took myself out a big handful, and it's pretty good. They did have the sugar-free vanilla, so I didn't have to use my own. So they got, I guess, a shipment of something, but not everything. I don't know how it works. I don't pretend to know how it works. Whatever. If you hear something going on in the background, I'm not sure if you probably will hear it. The GoPro's pretty good at picking up stuff that you don't always want it to pick up. If you hear something that sounds like your old computer trying to hook to the dial-up internet back in 1999, that is the blower fan for my heat I have pumping. It tends to talk, and I hit it with some lubricant several months ago, and it quieted on down for a little while, but she's due for some more lubricant because she is just been chatting, and right now she's being pretty tame, and she's just sounding like dial-up internet. But boy, she can make a myriad of just the most creative noises. Sometimes it puts a quiver in my liver, and I have to turn it off just to make sure that it is actually the fan, and it has always been the fan. But right now she's just kind of going so that's not too bad. I'm pulling up to Dandy, and the vet is already here, so I'm fashionably late per usual, but I got a heck of a lot written on the Patreon post. I'm gonna have to break it up into 2 parts because it's pretty long. So I'm thinking it'll be explaining how a horse keeps warm first, and then blanketing second. Blanketing post inspired by Dandy's wonderful owner and my wonderful Patreon subscriber, Kathy. So hopefully she'll enjoy that one. All right. We'll see what we can get. That was a joke. Good morning. Good morning. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Her little GoPro.
The what?
Her little GoPro camera. Oh wow, look at that one vibrating.
First acupuncture appointment of the day went really well on Dandy. He thoroughly enjoyed it. He had a minute when we said, can we increase stim a little bit? And he said no. And so we said, okay, back down. So maybe he did enjoy that one moment, but then he went back to enjoying it. He's doing very good. I got just a snippet of video from it, but I was holding the electrostim box, and it was kind of hard to get any video while holding that box. That box gets heavy after 30 minutes. Man, we've got a little system of strapping the box to the horse that we're going to try on the rehab boys since they're bigger. But Dandy, he does not have much real estate to strap anything to him. He's a little guy, so we didn't experiment on him. But you might be able to, I don't know if you can see the vet truck behind me out my rear window or not, but if you can say, hi, Dr. Boyd. But that's the update. We're on our way to the farm, and we're going to get started with what we have to do over there. See ya. Yeah, I can.
Good, and then Lynn can move her wherever he wants to.
Yeah.
But at least he'll be able to see her.
Yeah, I agree.
Love-hate relationship. She's gone. It's okay. You good? All right, as long as
Back to business as usual. She's curious as to what they're doing down there with Tripper and Cruz. Good horses. Have a good day.
Any of the meridians or anything
I
like
did not know that, so thank you.
Yeah. So you do this kind of to let them know, okay, you're gonna rub on them.
Right.
Okay, and then so here is a stomach 7. So this it's so cool. You could have put that one. Gotten more filled in with time, but there's still some places that we need to get more filled in and things. But then this here, let's see, that's the deep digital flexor. This is the check ligament, and then this down here is your other tendons, and then this line right here is bone. Down here is bone.
okay.
So that's just your tendon ligament bellies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Well,
awesome.
you would hope after everything you guys do. Be kind of depressing if they didn't.
Now, it's nice to see the improvements. That's,
Yeah.
that's super good. Going up to the heart, man, they all just lick, chew. So for both, for him, doing that foot, his left foot especially, because he's not using it as much, but hitting the shoulder and the heart and down. Man, I don't know what it is, but both of them are like, oh wow, yes. One.
Oh, my hat's in the way. Come here, come here. Oh, see? Oh.
He's like, I wanted you for half a second.
Oh, mwah. There we go. Thank you. Now I feel better. My feelings were hurt for a second. Mwah. They're waiting for dinner. Dogs are playing. Did you hear that? Oh my gosh. Oh. Anyway, they're waiting for dinner. No screaming, no hollering. And that's because they had the opportunity to say goodbye. They know. People take a horse behind the barn and put them down so their friends don't see, and friends are left to wonder where their friend went and scream and holler for them. I don't think they have to watch the horse be put down, but give them the chance to go visit the body. Horses, they understand these things more than what we realize. Give them the chance to know what's happened to their friend, and I guarantee you're gonna have at least 90% less stress. Your herd is gonna be so much more okay. The yellow one, he was Jill's boyfriend. Jill was his big girlfriend, and he did a half-hearted whinny like twice for her, but that was it. I mean, nothing. They're okay. They're at peace because they know she was struggling, and they understand what's happened to her. Horses decided that it wouldn't be too much trouble to go out tonight. So that's nice. Good for them. Eva is leading the pack. That's just awesome. Okay, I got work to do. I liked the style of vlog yesterday. I thought it turned out pretty cool. I need to project my voice because these rocks are loud. So if I want to try to talk while I'm picking, I got to try to throw my voice to you guys. So the camera doesn't just hear. It was ironic. Sat down for a second, opened up YouTube. First thing I saw was, rest in peace GoPro. Why I don't need a GoPro camera anymore. And I thought, okay. So dude was going over the faults the GoPro has, and it does have a few. And it was just fascinating because for the past 48 hours, every time I've turned my GoPro app on, the camera's let me know that it needs, that there's a firmware update, which I haven't had time to do. So I've not thought about it, but I'm going to do it as soon as, you know, I have a minute in the Wi-Fi. Burlington, Vermont. Don't think so. So the first comment on that video was, people forget about it, but you need to do a firmware update. No, I'm sorry. People forget about it, but you need to do a factory reset after you do a firmware update. And I'm like, tell me more. And so evidently, if you don't factory reset your settings, the GoPro will still be trying to use settings. That was actually really funny, and was that also ironic? You tell me. I just got done mentioning the GoPro having some issues, and the GoPro said, you know what? I'll show you issues, and turned itself off. At least I caught it though, and I wasn't here talking to myself, by myself, truly by myself, for 10 minutes. That would have been embarrassing. Anyway, firmware update. So GoPro uses settings from the old firmware, and that can mess it up. After a firmware update, it can act up. And so, dude in the comments said, factory reset it after you update the firmware, so then it's like a new camera. You reset the settings and it'll be doing it off of its current up-to-date firmware. I don't know. I don't have any settings that I'm, you know, married to, so I may as well. I mean, come on, I read it on the internet, so it's got to be true. I got nothing to lose but my settings, I guess. I really, in general, haven't had all that much trouble out of mine. I had a lot of trouble out of it in the beginning. I was using a real large, real cheap memory card, 128 gigabytes, some, you know, off-brand. And it would just, it'd do fine. I could get the footage and all that, but it would just freeze up. And I'd take the battery out, put it back in. Well, that's pretty common for GoPros. And a lot of people said it's because they overheat. There's so much, you know, technology packed in such a little package. And it was summer, so I thought it makes sense. That sucks, but that makes sense. Finally, I kind of recorded a lot, and the memory card got pretty full, and that camera would not. It just said no. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta get the stuff off the camera, and most of it, like half my files were corrupted. So I was suspicious. And I had done some reading that said something about the camera being picky over memory cards. And so I had a 32 gig SanDisk that the thing came with. Worked fine. So I thought to myself, maybe it's memory card. So I bought the exact same memory card it came, which is 128 off Amazon. I mean, maybe I pull the battery out. I don't know. rarely, and I'm doing a lot of recording, so it's made a big difference. Other than it just turning off. What's wrong with you? It's been great. If you feel a little cockeyed, it's because you are. GoPro does a pretty good job straightening video up. But my poor tripod, my poor Amazon tripod, it's great. It's an awesome tripod. And it was super cheap. Like 24 bucks or something. And it really is awesome. And I bought it before I even had the GoPro. I was trying to do some recording on my phone because I wanted to do this for a while. But my phone doesn't record sound anymore. And I had it, I was trying to record a trim. And I had it I was doing a front foot, and I had it pretty near underneath the horse to try to get the right angle on the phone. And with their back foot, they just stepped right on the metal leg, and it's metal. But it doesn't matter, metal bends. So I've got one leg that just ain't all there. So, unless I prop it up with something, the camera's always sitting like, and it's funny to look at, because I mean, you're like the Leaning Tower of Pisa right now. Poor thing. I was really disappointed and really wanted to buy a new tripod, but for what? Just to have them step on it again? I don't think so. Sort of like my new lens. I'm so distraught. I don't know what to do. I have my new lens, which I'm excited about. But like, this one's working okay. Any quality issues in the videos is because of the tablet. And the tablet really just, she's working hard. So, do I put the new lens on now? Do I wait until I'm in a better flow, you know, and I'm better at this and I deserve the new lens? I don't know. It's just gonna get scratched again. And this scratch isn't that bad most of the time. I know it's there though, I see it every day. Surprisingly, it looks actually a lot worse on the outside of the lens than it does what the camera sees. I can't believe it. And I held the lens up to my eye and I peeked through it to see like, what's the camera, and it can see it, it's bad. So it's amazing it's not any worse than it is in like what you're seeing. I don't know. Decisions. The vet stuff today went really well. I think I already told you, but Dandy Pony is looking good and did really good. Tripper was a very good boy and enjoyed his acupuncture. We also did some diagnostics on his shoulder, some x-rays. Couldn't see anything. In general, so much of him is getting better. He was so layered. Just compensations, covering stuff up, and we're breaking through a lot of it, that I'm really optimistic that it's going to, we just need to keep moving forward. It's going to keep, things are going to keep changing and evolving on him. Because so much looks so good. But it's definitely a head scratcher for all of us. And that's how you learn. I want everything to just go really well for every horse all the time. And things are going well for him. This is just a oddity. I want things to go really well for every horse all the time. But these conundrums is how you learn, so you can do better, faster, know more for the next horse. It's always frustrating though when you're in the thick of it. It doesn't matter how many times I've been in the thick of it, come out on the other side learning something. It's frustrating every time, and made me Maybe that's something I have to work on. Trust the process, as they say. It's just hard because you just want the horse happy and the owner happy and, you know, like right now. But it didn't take a day, it didn't take a year, might not have even taken 5 years for some of these horses to get into the situation they're in. So why do we expect to be able to fix them in a fraction of that time, you know? And that's why, while I'm on the subject, that's why this YouTube channel, that's why the Patreon exists. It's because rehab, for some of them, isn't a quick process. And it's not something, especially the duration, is not something everybody can afford. To only do 3 months, because it's all the person can afford, and get them just started down the right road, and then have to go home, doesn't work. They have to stay and make it to the other side. But not everybody can afford it. So now we're gatekeeping our service, right? Oh, you can't afford it, so your horse doesn't get a second chance. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair. I don't like that. But at the same time, I am not independently wealthy and I haven't won the lottery yet. So I can't afford to just do it all for everybody. And that sucks. Wish I could. And through this, I hope one day I can. Patreon is going to these horses, Eva. One day maybe I'll get super skilled with the YouTube channel. Maybe it'll help. This is going to go to them one day. But one day doesn't come if you don't start today. So that's what we're doing. And thank you to each and every one of you who watch. Even just let it play while you're eating dinner. It counts. I don't know. Again, I mentioned it yesterday, which for you, this isn't going to be yesterday or tomorrow or whatever. But I did mention it yesterday. Or maybe I didn't mention it yesterday. I don't know. That you have to have something like 4,000 watch hours on YouTube to monetize your channel. Maybe I was telling Dad. 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So just letting the video play while you're eating dinner, it helps. It helps. And what it does, what letting the video play does, is it tells YouTube, oh, people are watching this. They must like it. So now we start to promote it. We start to show it on people's recommended pages. This is horse stuff, farm stuff. They'll start throwing it out there for people who they know are interested in horse stuff, farm stuff. But if the channel doesn't get the interest, then they don't do it, because why promote something that nobody's watching? So those of you who watch, those of you who interact with the video, the liking, the commenting, that goes, first, some of those comments have been so nice and have made me really, thank you. But the liking, the commenting, the interacting with the video goes such a long way to telling YouTube, like, hey, people like this stuff. Granted, I don't know how entertaining I am right now, but I'm practicing. So I'm not going to say today, this is quality entertainment. It's probably not. I don't know what I'm doing. I bet a lot of it sucks. Boring. Whatever. But I'm practicing. I'm going to get better. I'm pretty proficient at whatever I set my mind to. I maybe don't achieve, but I at least do. And this is one of those things, because this is for these horses. It's not for me. It's for these horses, and I have to do it for them. And I have to do it for any horse like them who maybe wouldn't get a second chance because their owner can't afford a second chance. And that's another thing. That's not fair. Because I can provide this service, and in a year I can be pretty confident. But you have to commit to a year. it's too expensive, you know? But for 20 years, an owner can throw good money after bad on stuff that's not working, that's making it worse, that's even put the horse in the position he's in. And as he gets worse, slowly but surely they keep throwing money here and there, different vet appointments, different farriers, different shoeing packages, different injuries due to bad hoof balance like Cruz. They just keep throwing money. And if they added it up, what they spent over the course of 20 years, how much would that be? But to fix it, happens, boom, and it has to be paid for, boom, and that's too expensive. And it is too expensive to do it all at one time. I get it, I couldn't afford it, but it's just so crappy that they've already spent probably 4 times that much money to get their horse into the shape he's in. People have taken their money and the horse has ended up in this shape. It's not fair. Many times in my life I've been told, varying scenarios, I've been told, Danielle, life's not fair. You just have to get used to it. Life's not fair. I understand it. I'm not exactly at peace with it, but it's not as upsetting as it used to be. But I'm not okay with that, especially not when it comes to these horses. They didn't ask for this. So I'm going to try to do my part to make life a little more fair. You guys do your part. I just, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. I really do. I was hoping to come out and like be funny tonight, but that's not happening. We're going to continue the non-funny theme here tonight. We're going to talk about Jill. She deserves it. She was a good old girl. Jill was a 35-year-old Belgian draft horse, and we met Jill 2006. She was my neighbor's horse. My neighbor owned all the land, and his family used to breed and raise Belgian draft horses. And so she was his horse, her and her brother Bud. They lived over there, and pretty young I started trimming Bud and Jill because nobody was. And my dad just loved them, and so when my neighbor got old enough he was worrying about being able to take care of them, Dad bought them. And we left them over there for several years so that the neighbor could enjoy looking at them. And finally he needed the field they were in for something, the cows or something, and so we moved them. And that was 2011, the year of the tornado. And their barn that they would be standing in got destroyed in the tornado, and we moved them maybe a week before. It was amazing. The timing was just incredible, because if we hadn't have moved them, there's a good chance they wouldn't have necessarily been in the barn during the tornado, but the shrapnel, you know? And so they lived on our land since then. And Bud, he was several years older than Jill. He passed a couple years ago. He was old. And Jill, she'd really been doing amazingly well for her age. And I guess she's had arthritis, especially in the back end. It's been stiff, but not bad. And I guess the last month, she really started being bothered by it, you know? And you knew. In the last 2 weeks, it's amazing how fast they can fall off when it's time. And she started having trouble getting up. The day after I recorded Dix's trim, I did Jenny's, and Wrangler kept going over and trying to get her up because she was laying down, kept trying to get her up. Finally, I had to kind of like say, you need to go, you're being too much. But also, can you get up, Jill? You know, I was real worried. And she did, but barely. So it's like, okay, we have to start talking to Dad. This is getting really serious. He said it hadn't been like that. So the next day, she was down, and it was by the grace of God she got up. So we called the vet, and my local vet, and they couldn't come out for a week, which was okay. We had bute. We started giving her 6 grams of bute a day to get her to the next Friday. And it worked. She felt a lot better, but you can't live like that. And Thursday rolled around, and the gravedigger called and said, it's too muddy. I can't get my tractor out here, so I can't bury her. And if you can't bury her, you can't put her down. So we kept her on the bute for another week. And then Dr. Boyd was coming today, and I asked if she'd be willing. Now the gravedigger still wouldn't come up and dig a hole where we usually put them. So today we walked Jill and all of her friends, so she stayed calm and was with those she loved, down to where he could get, and laid her to rest. And she was so ready. It was amazing. Even the vet was really impressed and said it was probably the smoothest one she's done, because it was hard. She gave her the medicine, and Jill was I always have them sedate them first. I just think it in my experience, it goes better. And so, you know, Jill's sedated, and she gives her the medicine, and she backs up. Jill picks her head up and looks right at me, and that got me. And then she closes her eyes, and she just lays down. Boom. That was it. She was so ready. And it sucks, and it's hard, and it's not fun. But that body she was living in wasn't fun. And having to be on that much bute, tearing her belly up for the last 2 weeks, that's not fun. Just to give her a little relief from her other ailments, that's not fun. A horse was made to move. And when they get to the point that they can't like that, especially that old, being able to give them this gift to free them of this body on this earth, it's such a blessing. It's hard and it sucks for us. It really sucks for us because we're the ones who miss them, but they're free. It's never the wrong thing to do it a day too early. It does suck though. I'm sad for me because she was the last Belgian that neighbor bred born on this farm. So that it's kind of the end of an era, I guess you could say. So that's also pretty sad. Well, it wasn't funny tonight. I want to be funny. I like to be funny. Wasn't funny. Maybe tomorrow. So I was too busy being all depressy earlier. I forgot to share the good news. I got 2 good newses. Number 1, I never talked about Cruz and his vet appointment. Cruz is here for a tendon injury due to bad hoof balance. There'll be a Patreon post on him one day, but what day? I don't know. So I guess he came in July, and we get him rechecked by ultrasound monthly. And he's making good progress. Last month, he didn't backslide, but it just wasn't making as fast a progress as it had been, which at a point it fills in and then it just has to toughen up. And so that didn't sit well with us. It needs to keep making progress. You know, it's completely filled in. It just needs to toughen up. So Lauren has been going hard with laser and equitape and his magnet boots and in hand work, exercise. And I'm sure she's doing more that I don't know about. So we're all on pins and needles today. And his owner is actually in town. We're all on pins and needles. And he has made significant progress in increasing integrity in the fibers between 1 month ago and today. So that's like, yeah, he still has a long way to go with the tendon, strengthening it. He still has a long way to go with his feet, getting better heel height, building caudal tissue, reducing breakover, etc. So he doesn't injure it again. But that's a pretty big deal. We were really excited. So that was a happy thing. And of course, he enjoyed his acupuncture. He always does. Well, not in the beginning. but he's come around to it, and we're clearing him really effectively. He's reactive to very few points now, which is pretty cool. It's been cool to see the change for the positive. And then my last bit of exciting news would be, and of course I don't have it on film again. If you follow the Facebook page, you'll know Eva galloped out and I had no proof, and today is no different. I had made up her feed for tomorrow, and it made a lot of noise. They're all out. They're all way out. So I made up her feed, and then I went around to start filling my minis water, and I hear this galloping. And I thought, it sounded like it's getting closer. So I peeked my head around. It was Eva. And I thought, holy crap. But she was already basically up here. Stand up. What are you doing? There. Oh. There we go. Old wonky tripod. So she was already basically up. There's no point in videoing. And I thought, well, first shoot, she's all by herself. She just came racing up. Sorry, Eva. And so I'm filling waters and whatever. And next thing I know, I hear galloping. And I mean that hard galloping where they're just beating the ground. And I thought, I wonder if Philly's cantering in, you know? And so I finished filling my waters. I come back. Eva's gone. She's nowhere to be found. So she obviously got tired of waiting on me. She realized she wasn't going to eat. And she left. And so I thought, crap, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. If anybody has listened to anything or read anything or done anything, you'd know Eva was foundered significantly. And she has a very arthritic right knee. And she's the reason for all of this. I want to get her acupuncture so bad to see how much we can help the knee. But man, she's turned a corner. And I still want to get her the acupuncture. That's why we're doing this. But boy, she's turned a corner. She's doing all right. And man, she that was hard galloping. So I got Buzzy's empty bowl, and I came over and I dumped food in it. And I was ready with the camera, put a new battery in the camera and everything, just in case I could get her to do it a second time. And she's just not that stupid. She was born on a day that ended in Y, but that day wasn't yesterday. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm saying she was born at night, but she wasn't born last night. So heck, maybe one day we'll catch Eva galloping and I can share it. Because, I mean, I barely got to see it. I could only hear it. Because that's just so awesome. She just has a new lease on life. That's why we do this. That's why I'm doing this. That's why we do any of this. To give them a second chance. All right. Now I'm done. Listen to how healthy that sounds. Super healthy. That's better. It's me again. I just keep forgetting stuff. I got my phone flashlight lighting my face. Very professional. Basically a professional YouTuber at this point. What did I forget? Okay. Tripper. I talked about his shoulder, and I went on about so much. But I didn't talk about how awesome of a boy he is. So we wanted to get x-rays of the joints in the shoulder and to see if we could see any fracture or, you know, whatever. And that's tricky to do with one of their mobile units because they're just not very strong. So we were trying, and as we were trying, and as we weren't getting the view, we got more creative. And at the same time, you're going to have to use your imagination because I'm in my car. So, you know, you got him in the stall, nose in, and y'all have seen the stall. You just saw the stall. You know what the stall looks like. So now, imagine behind them. So if you were to turn around from the way he was facing outside the stall, it goes down my hill. My driveway runs along, down the hill, and then it flattens out. And down there, I've got a 53-foot storage trailer. And that's where we put Jill down because the gravedigger still didn't think he could get up to where we like to bury them. Too muddy. So we had already put her down, and the gravedigger had come, and he was working on the hole. So behind Tripper, you've got all this, you know, heavy equipment commotion as he's burying Jill. At the same time, you've got bop, 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 bop. Somebody somewhere is hunting, I guess. Target practicing. I don't know. They're shooting a gun. So you got gravedigger, gun shooting, and then you have, at times, somebody holding Tripper's leg up to drop his elbow down, the vet with her mobile x-ray, and then me, sometimes under his belly, sometimes wrapped between his legs. I was all over the place with the board, the plate, just like between him and under him and shoving up into him to try to get it higher. And I mean, we were just like wrapped around this horse. He couldn't, like, he was just like, or, you know, depending on what we're doing, he was just, I can't move, as all this stuff was going on. And he was perfect. His biggest fussy was, we wanted to get an x-ray of the foot. We knew it's not in the foot, but why not? Let's get an x-ray of the foot. And so he did great for the lateral view, put his foot on the board, bop, bop, bop. Then we wanted to get front to back. And he was just like, I'm done. I'm not putting my foot on that board. I was like, come on, Tripper, you just did it. I'm not doing it. And so we argue with him, and then finally he puts it down. And it's like half on the board, half off the board. Which for a lateral view wouldn't be a big deal. But when you're going front to back, you really like the foot pretty flat, you know, and his foot was like hanging off. And it's like, clearly you don't have an issue putting your foot on the board. And he just said, my quarter is spent. It was like, okay. So we were going to give up. And then it's like, well, let's give it one more shot. And boom, he did it. Stood like a champion. But what a good freaking horse. All that stuff going on, and he's just like, okay, whatever. And also, I've been so significantly radiated, am I glowing in the dark? Maybe, you know, that's not actually my phone flashlight. This is just, I just glow now. This is the new me. It's the radiation. I glow now. What are you going to do about it? I had to tell the good story on Tripper. I got too weird there, talking about his shoulder and stuff. I got too up in my feels. I'm just so passionate about giving these horses a chance. We are the ones who, there I go again. We're the ones who ruin them, you know? And not that his owner did anything bad to him, but just we as the human species, we're the ones who ruin them. We owe it to them to do everything we can to undo our wrongdoings. We owe it to the next generation of horses to not ruin them. I take that very seriously. So, you know, so when I get talking about it, I get weird, but I just feel it so strongly. It's so important to me. So, I get weird. What can I say?